Got a
We
new
got
look.
we got this look. How you do? Oh, it's just us three.
Got a little Wakanda Forever thing happening there. What's going on, girl? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Tony?
I'm doing great.
Oh, how are you, Erica?
I'm wonderful. This is going to be intimate and fun.
This is going to be so much fun.
Because a lot of people told me that they prefer when we have like smaller groups. They can understand what we're saying and they feel like the interaction is more intimate rather than so many people on the panel. So I'm really excited that we're able to like do this together because I think collaboratively, the three of us, we do really well together. And I know
I can start so much trouble. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you now, up front and personal.
Those walls and you can open your heart to me. I know you can feel it, so there's no need to hear it. Baby, don't fear it. Cause it's on, cause I said that it's on. Want us to be surfing, I don't want on and again. You and me's like 23, girl, they can't stop this fade away. Don't wanna be all in these streets, so did all that back in the day.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Purple Mic. We are back. And again, this is season 4. We're so excited. Tonight is our final chapter of WildCard, and we are spewing questions out, just the three of us tonight. Tony, LaShawna, myself, Erica Nichole Mason. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm
doing
good.
Doing well.
I am so excited about tonight's episode. Instead of me asking all the questions, we are spontaneously going to ask questions amongst each other. Whether or not it's something you've always wanted to know or just something you're curious about, we're just going to have an intimate conversation and go wherever our minds take us. So we hope that you guys will stay and enjoy this episode. If you have not already, please subscribe here on YouTube. Our watch parties are every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're live every Monday on Twitch, Facebook. Tony, I love your face.
It's so stoic.
I'm percolating. I'm percolating questions.
I love it.
It's so stoic. It's like,
Yes.
It's coming.
But without further ado, we're going to jump in.
I want the first question. I want it. It's a softball. It's a softball.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Why is your lighting so dark? Who you trying to set the mood for?
I got the first question. Let me know.
I've got so many inquiries since season 1 about my horrible lighting. I'm going to have someone help me with my lighting. I've heard that my shadows are horrific behind me, especially in Queen Talk. Somebody said my hair was curly that night and the shadow looked like a monster.
Hilarious.
So yeah. But tonight I cannot get my lighting right. I have hue lights and I was trying to get some purple going. That was the whole. And I'd like to.
Looks a little blue.
Can you flip a switch to something?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. But you
guys, I know you pay your Georgia Power bill. I know you got power in that house.
Well, obviously, it's some light in here.
Not enough. Not enough.
It's running.
Not enough.
She's online.
I'm gonna work on that. But I also want to do a purple mic neon sign behind me. So I'm gonna get creative.
That's that second question? That's that I heard. Did I hear second question?
Go ahead, Tony.
Why do women kill sex in a relationship?
Ooh, why do women kill sex in a relationship? I don't think women kill sex in a relationship. I believe.
Well, LaShawna, you are the exception to the rules. You are the exception to the rules.
Okay. Now, I have been in a relationship where I did take sex off the table, and we would only do it once a month. It's when I was engaged to someone that I thought was for me, and I
Once
took
a
it
month?
once a month. And it was only because I was no longer sexually attracted to him anymore. So it made it very hard for me to get in that mode to be able to do it with him like we were when we first met and everything. So he became unattractive to me. And then it was always repetitious, the same thing over and over again. It never changed, no spontaneity, even though how much I tried. Just
Okay. So let me overlay a little context to this. And so I'm talking in frames of, okay, when you're dating a guy, y'all get to know each other, everything's going well, y'all are vibing, then you decide at some point in time that you're going to have sex with him. And so when you ultimately do, then y'all having sex everywhere, random places, at home, movie theater, car, all that kind of stuff. Then at some point in time in a relationship, y'all decide y'all want to ration out the booty. Y'all like, oh, I don't feel like it no more. It's that time of the month. Y'all make up all kind of reasons, like y'all ration it out. But in the beginning, y'all giving it away like it was just free. Everything was just free. So why y'all kill the sex later on in a relationship and you decide to ration it out?
I believe it has everything to do with sexual compatibility, because sometimes you find out that you're not as sexually compatible with that partner that you're with. And they may not want to try anything new. They may not want to do anything new. They only like to do it in the bedroom. And then sometimes I can say us women, we do that because we know that's going to hook you and sink you.
That's what I'm getting at. So why ration it out at that point?
We know that's going to hook you and sink you sometimes. So when we do that, it's like, okay,
why y'all do that and change the script? You was having sex in the car, and all of a sudden later on down the line, your brother want to have a little sex in the car. Y'all like, oh, that's so gross. I can't do that. Y'all get all uppity with it.
And sometimes that has a lot to do with them becoming a mom. With us becoming moms, men
don't care.
Like, you guys don't care, but we do, because we're like, oh my God, I'm a mom now. I can't do that. That's our mindset. So we have to remember that if
the kid's not around, nobody cares.
True, but we also have to remember we have to shift. And when we shift, we have to remember that we're a wife.
Shift to the left so he can slip it in there.
We have to remember that when, even though we're a mom or a mother, we're also a wife, and we have to make sure we do our wifely duties and keep it sexy and stuff. And sometimes we tend to forget. So yeah, it does get rationed out because we're tired. Yeah, we have a lot going on. Yeah, all these other things. But sometimes it's just, I feel like it's just, not being sexually compatible in all of it.
I will literally say you're right. Sex is at the forefront because emotions are high. Attraction is high.
I'm sorry. Who's right?
No, I said attraction is high.
No, you said you're right. So who's right? I don't know who gets the credit here. I'm just trying to see who gets the credit.
Yeah, you get the credit. Okay.
Oh, I get the credit?
Yes, I'm telling
you. Heard it here, folks, right here on the purple mic. Oh, I get double pinkies. Man.
Now, there comes a point in time where if there is no direction in the relationship, you start asking yourself, like, what am I doing? I am just a plaything, or I am literally on this wavelength with this person and I don't know where we're going. I don't know what this is. Now, like Lashana says, sometimes you're not even attracted anymore. You've had your fun, the thrill is gone. But sex does not maintain a relationship.
No.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah. So I think for women, we're going to turn it off at some point to figure out what this is so that we can make sure of where we're going, like this course that we're on. What exactly is this? I know me, I always talk about this on the show. I'm intentional. So that.
Do you not know the damage you cause when you do that?
I think that it's definitely damaging. The minute sex gets involved, because sex confuses everything.
I wouldn't say it confuses. I'm speaking more along the terms of men get used to a certain thing, and then you take that off. You change it.
You change it and you take it away.
Yeah, that's the part that becomes the problem.
Well, we need to get used to some things too, like communication and understanding where we're going.
True.
And I think we talked about that in our last episode. You know,
We did.
know, yeah, you should know where you're going and what you're doing before you even.
But most definitely, I think you should know that before you enter into having sex with someone. Before you, know where you're going, who you are to this person, and who they are to you. And once you become committed and exclusive, I feel like, okay, then if you choose to have sex, then that's something you choose to do after you've already solidified and done everything. I don't think it's good to do it beforehand, because that's where the confusion come in. Because with us women, sometimes when we have sex with a guy, we automatically think because we've had sex, we're together. And I've had to learn, like, if the guy doesn't ever say we're together, you're my girl, you're with me, you're not there.
So when is a good time to have that particular conversation?
Which one? The one
whenever you feel like it's time for that. My thing is this: if I feel like, if I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to ask myself, what am I to this guy? What, who am I? I'm going to ask, where is this going? Who am I to you? Let's have this conversation so we can be intentional about what we're doing and why we're together. And if you tell me, I want you to, you're my girl, let's be together. Okay. But if you tell me, like, hey, man, you know what this was when you got in this? I don't have time for that, because a lot of times men take that choice away. And I'm one of those ones, let me make my choice for myself. So that way, if I end up getting hurt in this situation, I chose it, not you taking my choice away. So I chose it. So I feel like the man or the woman feels like, what am I to this person? That is the time to have that conversation, because one is thinking it, the other one is feeling it. Somebody, and I know they're like, I've been in that situation before where I'm thinking it, he's feeling it, and he knows this conversation is coming up. And so my thing is like, well, why not initiate it? But hey, if you don't want to initiate it, I will. So here we are having this conversation, because I definitely need to know, what are we? Where is this going? And how do you see us moving?
So the conversation should be had before sex. If you feel like you want to have sex with that person, you should have the conversation first.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's the standard amount of time, if you're on a date or you're dating somebody, that you have that thought that you might want to get intimate? Because in a man's mind, he's thinking fourth date, maybe we getting some. Fifth date, possibly.
Right, you have to think of the first date.
Well, that depends
honestly,
if he knows what he's already getting into. He's got a preconceived notion of what he's getting into.
For women, when do we start to feel like we're ready to have sex with a guy?
Yeah, at what point do you say, okay, in the process in dating, do you start feeling like you want to give it up a little bit? And so if that's the case, then maybe that conversation should be initiated the day before, potentially.
Okay, so this is what happens, okay? I'm just going to be honest here.
All right, come on.
Women already know if we're going to give it to you or not before you know it.
Yes, I know that.
So it doesn't really matter what date it be on. If we choose to give it to you, we choose to give it to you.
That part.
It doesn't matter what date or whatever. It can be 60. Like, if she want to give it to you that night on the first date, she will. She want to give it to you the second night, third date, whatever. She can wait for 60 days if she wants to. But she knows, like, she knows that night when she's going to. She knows. We've been talking. We going out tonight. Let me go ahead and get this stuff. Like, we prep. We're getting things waxed and cleaned, and like,
yeah,
that's just what it is.
We're looking at his swag. We're looking at his career. We're looking at the way he eats and the way he's dressed. Does he close his mouth when he chews? Does he look at me in my eyes when he speaks?
Yeah.
It's immediate.
Yeah,
all those things are
Don't hate me and my Twizzlers. That's all I ask.
All those things are like puzzle pieces. They have to come together and fit.
They have to come together. Yeah, and fit like all nice and neat, like this, like a little, like that. So once they do, and we're like, yep, you're gonna get it tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
that's
yep. She's like, yep, he gonna get it tonight.
yeah. We just know. We already know what we're going to do. And that's why I say we know what we're going to give the guy before the guy even knows that he gonna get stuff. A lot of the times when guys get it, they're like, "Oh shoot, I didn't know I was gonna get it tonight." So a lot of times they're literally surprised that they're getting it. They thought they were gonna have to wait, 90 days, 30 days, 60 days. And it's just like, no, not at all. If you do everything right, and like Erica said, all the puzzles fall into place,
Yeah.
you're good to go. You can get it.
Okay.
My question is, I was having this conversation with Abraham, and we were talking about the difference between a train and a threesome. We were.
Look, to me, it seemed like that's the same to me. So I always thought it was.
All right. So he said a train is two dudes and one girl, one woman.
That's never been the definition of a train where I came from.
Thank you. And he said a threesome is two females and one guy. I was like, what? It's still three people.
Yeah, as long as it's three people. It's a threesome. That's why it's called a threesome.
Right. He's like, no. The two dudes and the one female, that's a train. You're getting your butt tossed back and forth. I was like, that's a hood version of what you guys are talking about.
Train has always been where I came up, three or more guys on
Thank you, because it's consistently going. One guy finishes, another one goes in. He finishes, another. It's like a line of guys just waiting their turn to go. And so I was just like, no, that can't be.
Are these new terms? Is these new terms to you, Erica? You looking a little disheveled.
No.
Just checking, because sometimes you're like, what? What's that? I've never heard that word. I just want to know. You okay?
No.
So, Erica, what is your take on it? What do you think?
Now, this is interesting.
I don't.
Do you feel uncomfortable about this? Is that what this is?
No, listen, we talk about everything on this show. So nothing is off limits. And tonight is called WildCard for a reason. So
are you selectively choosing not to answer?
No, I just don't know what to say about it because I've never done that and I don't know anything about it.
I've never done it either. I've never done it either, but I know what it is.
You guys have. I'm just saying, like, I would be ignorant to even speak on it because I am ignorant. Like, I don't know anything about it. Like, I literally didn't know the difference. So I couldn't entertain the question.
Gotcha. Well, that's okay. That's a question. Okay. My other question. Here it is. Holding men accountable. Why is it so hard for men to not want to be held accountable by their significant other? Why?
I love
that. Okay, let's put that in a little bit of context for me because.
Okay, so what I mean by like being held accountable, it's like for your actions, the things that you do, the things that you say, you keeping promises that you didn't keep. Say for instance, if you tell me we're gonna go out, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're not going to go out. We can't make it. We can't do it. And it's like, okay, but that's what you said we were gonna do. Or you say, I'm done with drinking. Not gonna drink anymore whatsoever. And then you go out and you go drinking, and then I call you out on it. And then it's like, why you gotta say something? Because I'm holding you accountable for something that you said. I'm trying to make sure that you be held accountable because my thing is, I want you to hold me accountable when I need to be held accountable. I want you to do that as my significant other. I feel as though men sometimes don't want to be held accountable for the things that they say and the things that they do. And it's vice versa for women. Sometimes, we don't want to be held accountable at all.
So in my experience, that has been wholly because of what the guy's been around. If he's been around other guys that do that, then it's socially acceptable behavior. If he's watched his dad do that and get away with it, thinks he can do it. So, and he doesn't think about it consciously that it even matters. Being held accountable in a relationship just for some reason doesn't seem to matter. It's like it's one of those do as I say, not as I do kind of mentality. That's unfortunately that's what it is. And most men we don't think early on of the damage we're doing until later on, like when we get in our 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. We don't put that into perspective properly. But some never quite let that go. That's definitely that's a learned behavior. Accountability. Okay. It's okay to be held accountable at work, but at home it's a different story.
And that's the crazy part, that you can be held accountable at work for the mishaps or the things that you don't do or you forget to do. But when at home, it's like,
I ain't being paid. You can't hold me accountable for it.
Like, hands up, I'm not being paid, so I don't have to. But it's like, nigga, I guess you are. I mean, not so much as like, yes, you are, but it's like, when we go in that bedroom chamber, you want something, but how can I give it to you and you're not being held accountable? And I think that's another thing too that wraps right back around to your question when it comes to why do women withhold sex. And I feel like it's also because when men don't want to be held accountable, it makes you for me, it doesn't make you sexy anymore for me. When you don't want to be held accountable, I don't feel like I'm going to be attracted to you, because that means you're not being responsible. So it's like, why would I want to give my vagina to someone who is not responsible? Yeah. So if you're not going to be responsible outside of our bedroom chamber, I don't feel like you're going to be responsible inside.
It's like you could just do what you want to do and run this relationship the way you want to. And it's like, wait a minute. No, at the end of the day, this is my life we're talking about. So yeah, you're right. It's not sexy anymore. And you do pull back. Like, you know what? I just need a break. This isn't working out.
Right.
Time out. Like, until we can adjust this, there is no sex. Like, because sex is what's complicating this to begin with. So yeah. But accountability, I think more men need to be more accountable. Yes. And I think that men need to stop being so prideful in putting on this disposition where they're angry when you ask them questions that may be hard to answer. You have to be able to have hard conversations. And if you can't get past those hard conversations, then that's not your person. If that's what's going to make
hard conversations are rough for men because the presentation that women give, unfortunately, sometimes is wrong.
That's true.
Very true. But you know what? It's also about understanding your person as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. I feel like, because in my relationship, I've had to have hard conversations, and I always have to take a pause because he always knows when something is wrong with me. And so I have to tell him, like, I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Because if I talk about it in that instance, it's not going to come out right. It's going to come out very angry and rude,
right,
and disrespectful. So my thing is that I want to be able to talk to you when I've filtered everything through. I've made sure everything that I want to talk about, I've crossed my T's, dotted my I's, and my tone is in a good place for you to hear me. And then I have to make sure that, because I play the conversation over in my head, what I want to say, because I have to make sure I don't say certain words, because again, men are triggered by, we need to talk. You don't do. So all those type of words that are like accusatory words trigger men, and then they just completely shut down. And it's like, I don't need you. This is the time I don't need you to shut down. This is the time I need for you to open up, so we can have this comfort, have these hard conversations. And so when I did have to have a hard conversation with him, it was easier. He heard everything that I said, and it made it easier for, as we continue to talk and dialogue back and forth when we were having that hard conversation. And we're in a better place for it, because if I had just held it and just kept it and not express my feelings and how his feelings just to stroke his ego to make him feel good, it wouldn't have went well. Eventually, everything would have came out like word vomit, because that's what I told him.
Like myself, I'm just going to fall back. Like if I ask you a question and you give me attitude or you give me some indirect, stupid ass answer that is just enough to supply me with some surface level reasoning of why you do what you do and how you move, like I'm going to fall back because I'm not going to entertain your bullshit. Like you're an adult and you know what I'm asking you. And if you don't know, then you would have enough respect to say, reword your question, or what do you mean? Could you elaborate like Tony did at the top of this?
Better take the bass out of your voice.
If you're actually like trying to play me and make this more than what it is, then I'm just going to like literally fall back. And when I fall back, it's more or less like I'm doing me and I'm taking my emphasis, my time and attention off of you. Like whatever you have going on, it's not important for me, or it's not my priority anymore, because I'm not your priority. So I think at the end of the day, you know, that's how I move. And I think in any relationship, you know, reciprocity is important. You know, conversations are important. If we're not having these conversations and we can't achieve that level of growth and we're just stagnant, all we do is lay up in bed all the time.
Hey, we have to not neglect the bed laying, okay? Is breakfast in bed too? Lunch in bed, dinner in bed.
Breakfast sounds so good right now.
How about I get you Chick-fil-A in bed?
Okay, waffle fries and cheese.
Her face was like, ooh. Look, Tony, her face said, how you doing?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, ooh, maybe I need to look. I'm like, maybe I need to grab the DoorDash real quick. Let me send you something over there.
Like,
he said, how you doing? Your turn, girl. Come on.
Come on.
Me and Lashana were having a really great conversation this weekend, and this is on the lines of the accountability question she just asked. But why is it that men always like to have their cake and eat it too? And it's not until we put our foot down that they finally understand, oh, she's all woman and I can't step improperly with her. I can't step incorrectly with her. Why do men always have to see how far they can go or have their cake and eat it too before they get some act right? That's my question.
Because we can, and you allow it.
Dang, that was short, simple, to the point.
And the crazy part about that is that there are a lot of women that allow the behavior to persist on a very long basis. So a lot of that has become, unfortunately, the standard and the norm. We push the buttons until you tell us we can't anymore.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
But even when you do that, there's always pushback. So
of course there's pushback. Nobody wants to get caught in their shit. So when you catch us in their shit, that's like you just backing up us against the wall. And now we have to answer for everything. Nobody wants that's like y'all rolling like the cops. Yeah, y'all got lights on the brother. Like, hey, I caught you, motherfucker. I caught you. Let's just come on and come clean. And the brother like this. I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't did nothing. I don't know what, huh, what, who, huh? And then he ain't got nothing else to do but then turn the tables and get aggressive and start trying to fight his way out. That's all that is. You know, I've done it. I've done it when I was young. Now I'm like, shit, you shine that light in my face. I'm like, what you want to know? And be careful the questions you ask, because you might not like these answers.
I just feel like it's so exhausting for a woman.
No, that's on both ends, because men don't quite understand women as well either. But you guys aren't necessarily playing a game. It's real to you, whereas men think in terms, for the most part, that okay, there's other women out here, so if this doesn't pan out, I could probably find something else. But let's see how far this one goes.
Yeah, but a good woman is not always easy to find.
We don't realize that until it's too late.
That's true.
Then we come crawling back 2-3 years later. Girl, I messed up. It's you. It's always been you. My bad. I'm sorry. We all apologetic. We've changed. I'm willing to do right. He ain't gonna just get on one knee. He gonna get on both knees.
Baby, please, baby, please.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my question is. It's like having to spank a child. Why do I have to spank you? Why do I have to lecture you in order for you to get to act right? Like, why can't you just do what you're supposed to do?
I have to let you know up front what I want and what I expect you to do. If you mess up, I'm going to let you know, like, look, you know what? When you did this how it made me feel. It's either you change it or you don't. If you don't change it, duly noted. Duly noted.
Yeah,
So don't be worried about when I decide to exit stage left and you're trying to figure out what I did. We've had that conversation. You still chose to go do what you wanted to do. So that means for me, just like you, Erica, I'm going to fall back and I'm going to fall all the way back until I'm out of sight.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving you an ultimatum. I've told you how I felt. I told you how it made me feel when you did X, Y, and Z. You chose not to change it. So therefore, you don't care about how I feel. You don't care about my wants, my needs, and I care about your wants, your needs, and how you feel, because I'm intentionally doing things to make sure that I don't, upset you in this relationship, or, I don't lose your trust, or whatever the case is. No, I understand that, just like you understand my time is valuable. I only got one life to live. I'm not going to be young forever. I want to be married. And if we're not on the same page, that's fine. That's okay.
And
we're not raised that way. So
right.
Just a little sympathy in that direction. We're not raised to be caring and nurturing and worry about the other person. We're raised to take care of ourselves and worry about me.
Right.
We're raised to be hard.
Right.
You women, y'all have to teach us certain things, and there's some fights going on because he's trying to be him. He's trying to still move in his little way and move his energy and be selfish and worry about him. At the same time, he understands he's got a family to take care of, but he still wants to he doesn't want to let go of that, what he used to be.
Yeah. After you've communicated to the person, like LaShawna said, she's let the person know what it is she wants. And this person wants to tread lightly and see how far they can go in an effort to get away with
whatever.
Whatever it is. And we're not just talking about proposals and weddings. Everything that this woman wants for herself, he's trying to escape responsibility, being accountable. But you expect me to be naked in that bed every night. You expect me to cook for you and do wifely duties when you're just a boyfriend. So I don't know. Sometimes
there's guys out there that's getting that. I'm doing something wrong.
Oh yes.
Absolutely. Most definitely.
I'm doing something wrong. I'm putting too much energy into this. Damn.
She's right. I mean, Erica's right. You just have to, like I said, you just have to be intentional and know, like you said, find out if that person's for you or not. If that person's not for you, like you said, I'm gonna fall back. Bye. I'm gonna be a hot air balloon. Bye.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
You guys get emotionally invested very quickly.
Yeah.
Is that the ultimate downfall?
Oh, most definitely. I stopped.
Absolutely. Emotion. Yeah. Because you're no longer practicing intelligence. It's more or less allowing your heart to just run its course. And that is so dangerous.
It is. Because I had that conversation with my ex, and he asked me, he said, "Where's the old LaShawna?" I said, "She's dead and gone." I said, "She's deleted. You can't re-download her. She's gone." He was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I allowed you to walk over her. She was your doormat." I said, "I allowed you to do whatever you wanted to do. I minimized my feelings for you to stroke your ego." I said, "I did everything that I could possibly do." I said, "I loved you, help you heal in areas that you needed to heal in." I said, "And you still left. You didn't stay. You didn't stay home. You still left. I also had to learn that I'm not building anybody. You are my lesson. You either come equipped with things that you need.
Yes.
I said, and if you're not there yet, then you don't need to come to me. That LaShawna that you know is gone. He was like, well, I want her back. But she was submissive. I said, I'm still submissive. I am. I said, but I'm not minimizing my feelings for you anymore.
Right.
I'm not pushing aside how I feel to make you feel good. I'm not doing that anymore.
Let me ask this then. Define submissive in relationship terms.
It's not something that women think of as like a subordinate, like he just can do whatever, tell me what to do. No, but allowing the person to lead. And women become submissive to a man who she knows that's going to lead her properly. And we can actually sit in our womanhood, or and be able to be there with you and be your helpmate and help, what I'm saying, walk with you, and the same way you protect me, I can protect you. That's what it means to be submissive.
Is being submissive, you're not his equal?
In a sense, yes, I'm still his equal, but I'm not carrying as heavy as a load as he would. Ultimately, he's the protector. He's the provider. He is the person who leads the family. Even though I don't say it, I am a spiritual person, and I do believe it.
Let me get right in on that one. So I read something recently that said that the man is actually not the head of the household.
Oh gosh.
So calm down. Here's what I read. What I read is the fact that the woman is actually the head of the household. She makes the rules. It's the man's role to enforce those rules.
Biblically, yes, that is how it goes. Very much so. Biblical terms, yes. But even in that, when you think of the stories that are in the Bible, it was always a way of a woman that she was able to sway her husband to do things that needed to be done. And even in the house, there are things that women can do that can sway her husband to get things done. I feel like if there are rules that have to be set in the house, I feel like there are rules that have to be set in the house, that you guys set them together. Yes, the dad can enforce those things. Mom can too. But I also have to take a look at it, like in the day and age that we live in, where it's not set up like that. And that's the part that's lost. And so because it's not, there are certain things that are lost that you have to gain back. And it's hard to do that when we have women that are nowadays, and men who does not want to submit to one another. Because people tend to leave out that also in the Bible it says, husband, women are supposed to submit to their husbands, and husbands are supposed to submit to their wives. That goes vice versa. It's never ever just one-sided. So people tend to forget that part because all they hear is submit. The woman is supposed to submit. We lost sight of a lot of things because of other agendas that were being pushed. And we lost sight of the structure of the family.
Yeah, and a lot of men say that they are airheads. Like without their wives, they're nothing. It's because of her this house, has a foundation and it stands. So I can very much see how we take the Bible out of this, how rules are set, and how this woman strengthens the home, and she's by reason. Without her, nothing would be able to
function.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've seen it firsthand where, like, when my mom and my dad were together, my dad worked, she paid the bills. When you're raised properly and you've seen a healthy type of dynamic of relationship, who's who in the relationship, what person fits where in the dynamic of their marriage.
Can I get some of that? Can I get some of that? I want some of that.
So And they work in tandem together. It's no big I, no little I. It's we're in this together. Yes, you're my helpmate. Yes, you're going to support me in things that are going on. But at the end of the day, as my husband, yes, you do have the final say, even though you come for me for counsel to see if this will be a good idea. Yes, I will be able to walk you through it to see if this is going to pan out to be something that's going to be lucrative for us or whatever the case is. It doesn't even matter. It could be any situation. But ultimately, and I say it all the time, ultimately the decision is up to you. But I do appreciate you coming to talk to me about those things and keeping me inside the loop. Because sometimes men get in their head, oh, I'm the head of the household. I ain't got to talk to you about nothing. You just got to roll with it. That is not good sound counsel. No, and even in that, the Bible also talks about, having good sound counsel. And when you're picking that particular mate, you have to know that she's good and sound and she has a good head on her. And that not only that, because ultimately, like women, we run in the background. And that's what it is. We're running in the background. You may not see it, but we're running in the background. Like we're doing, making sure you look good in the background. So, so let's not forget that. And, men tend to forget because they start to be successful and they get the big head and their ego gets boosted. And they forget that person that was in the background helping you get here. And now you think you can go do whatever you want to do because you missed the big and bad. And it's like, right here in the background. Let's not forget, I'm right here in the background.
I love it here on the Purple Mic. I want to thank everyone for watching our show tonight. Intimate conversation, question, answer. We love you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We're live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Our watch parties where you can chat with us, mix and mingle, all things with the entire cast. IG, Facebook, Cash App, and Twitter at the Purple Mic. We will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching and good night.
Bye. Good night.